In this guide, we are going to learn about MySQL commands and how you can be able to execute SQL commands in WAMP server. So WAMP server is one of the relational database that you can use in your web applications, and therefore there is need for you as a developer to know how to write some basic SQL commands so that you can be able to create your database, update your database, create tables, update your tables, and so on and so forth. So let's dive in and see how you can be able to use the SQL command. So I've already installed WAMP server and I've already run it. So you can see it is here at the notification tray. So I click on this notification tray and then I can be able to see it here. It is supposed to be turned to be green. In case it is not green, it implies there are some files are missing, or maybe some files are corrupted, so there is need for you to be able to redo it so that you can be able to get it right. So mine is okay. I just left click and then I can be able to go to MySQL and then I go to my console, MySQL console. Now it will ask me for the password. I'll just say without the password, this is the username. So when I click here, it will ask me for the password. I've not set any password. I just click enter so that I can be able to go to that particular point. Now here I'm just going to type show databases. So these are the whole databases that I do have in my my SQL right now, in my WAMP server. So this particular tutorial, we are just going to create this kind of the table. This is the table that you are going to create with all these specifications. Now how do you create a new database? So to create a new database, you just say create database, Southwind, create database Southwind. So once I've done that, you realize that it's going to say one row has been affected, meaning that it has already been added in this array of database. Now the next thing to do is just to create the table. So we want to create the table, but in order for you to create the table, you need to select that database. So we are going to say use Southwind, so that we select that database, use Southwind. So once it has the database changed, we want to show if actually we are using that database. So at the moment that database does not have any table, so what you need to go to do, you're just supposed to say select database, like that, and then you can put the opening and the closing bracket, and then you press enter. So when you press enter, it is going to display to you that this database now exists, but with no table. So it doesn't have any table at the moment. So we need to create a table in this particular database. So how do you create a table? A table to create is very simple. So the first thing to do is just to click to write create table, if not exists. So already you have seen it doesn't exist, but we just write that to make sure that it's very much explicit. Opening bracket, then press enter. Now you type the first column. So this is the first column that we are going to create. Then we say int unassigned. So you just type like that, auto increment, comma. You go to the next one quickly, product. So the same procedure that you have just done the previous one, we just continue up to the end. 3, like that, not null, default. Okay, then you go to the next product, that is name. Make sure that is varchar, meaning it comprises of numbers and characters. So we are going to have 30, then not null, default, and then you just make sure that those single quotations that are in front there. Then you press enter, you put a comma, and then you press enter, then you go to the next one, quantity, int unassigned, not null, default, and then you just put the value like 0. The default value is 0, and then you go to the next one, that is price, decimal points. Price for that decimal points is supposed to be 2 decimal points, 7 figures, 2 decimal point, not null, default. Then you can just give the default value, that is 999, then dot 99, comma, then you proceed to the next one, primary key. Primary key is supposed to be product ID, and then you press enter, and then you just put the closing bracket and then semicolon at the end, and then you press enter. Now when you press enter, you realize that it has been able to be created. So these are just specifications that you have been given in this case. So I'll just maybe explain to you what exactly is happening in this case. When we talk about product ID int unassigned, mean that we are not going to accept any negative value. So we are going to accept only non-negative integers. Now when you set the product code to be character 3, so it means that it is a fixed length. It has got a fixed length of 3 characters. And then when you set the name to be varchar 30, it means that this is a variable length string that is made up of 30 characters. And then you can be able to see that quantity is also int unassigned, meaning that in this case we are not going to expect any negative value. Then we are setting the price to be decimal, and then we are using 2 decimal points. So you can see we are going to expect 7 digits, but it's supposed to have 2 decimal points. And then we are having a default value that is supposed to be displayed in that case. Then finally we have our primary key. So primary key is the one that uniquely identifies this product table, and therefore that is the product ID. Now after that, we just want to let's show tables and see if that table has been captured. So perfect, that table is now happily in that particular database. Good. Now the next thing that I want to show you is how to insert rows. So this is very important. We want to insert the following data into that particular table. How do you insert table? How do you insert data? So it's very simple. You just type the word insert into products, and then you just say values, and then you just put the opening bracket, and then you now type the values there. Okay, so you say that, and then make sure where we are having the string, make sure you use the single quotes, and you write there pen, for example, that is a string, and then you make sure you also have the comma, and then you also have another one there. So you continue. It's supposed to be 5,000. Okay, but something here I've just missed, a comma. You only separate the columns using the commas. So this is very important for you to understand. Good. Then we also have 1.25, 1.23, and then you close the bracket, and then you put the semicolon, and then you just press enter. So if you have done the right thing, you should see the query okay, one row affected. So we continue to the next one. That is we can also be able to enter the values like the following. You can just say that insert into products. Just want to continue adding values into it. So the second value is supposed to be, so for instance the following you have already added, the first one you have already added, so the second one is supposed to be 1 or 2. So I can push it a little bit at the top so that I can see it here. It's supposed to be 1 or 2, comma, pen, comma, then we are supposed to say pen blue, then you also need to have a comma here, then you say 8,000, and then you're supposed to have 1.25. You close the bracket, you put the semicolon, and you press enter. You can say that it's saying one row has been affected. So we just continue like that, entering the rest of the values there. So let me enter it. So you can pause your video and then you enter those values the way it has been displayed on your screen, and then we can move to the next section. Alright, so I hope you have already typed. What if I just want to select the products that their quantity is above 2000? So how do you go about it? So you just click here and then you say select name, maybe quantity, and then from products where. So where is a very important clause in a database. So where quantity is less than or equal to 2000. So I want to select all the product that have quantity less than 2000. So 2000, then you close with the semicolon and then you press enter. So by default it's going to give me two output. It's going to give me a black and then pencil 2B. Yeah, so that's how you can go to select content using the conditional statements, maybe the logical statements like less than or equal to, or any other that you're going to use. I can as well select those products that start with the word pencil, the name of the product that start with the name pencil. So if I want to do that, I just write select. I just want to write here select name, then price from products where name like pencil. So that's the way the name is supposed to start, and then you put the percentage, and then you just close the quotation and then the semicolon. So what are you doing in this case? We are going to select two columns, that is the name and the price column, and in this case we are looking for only that column or that particular record whereby it is going to start with the word pencil and then this particular percentage. This means that whatever comes after the percentage we don't care, but it must have the word pencil that starts the way it is. Yeah, so if you press enter, you should be able to see only two options: pencil, pencil, and then the rest that comes after that is not important. But if you use an underscore, for example, an underscore will give you any single character. It matches any single character, but with the percentage is quite it is quite keen with the number of characters that you are looking for, and then whatever happens thereafter, it is not important. So the last thing that I want to show you is how to update this particular table. Now, in order for you to modify, for example, I want to modify this record, so I'll just say that I want to modify the quantity, or to add some product on top of this particular product. So I'm just going to say update, update products, update products, set quantity is equal to quantity plus 50. Okay, then the price, you set the price to you can also set the price to 1.23, where, so specifically it is giving us that record that is going to be affected. So we're going to say where name is equal to pen red, where name is equal to pen red. So I hope this is how red is written. Yes, small letter. Then we also make sure that so you can just put the semicolon at the end. So what are we going to do in this case? We are just going to change the product. We are going to set the product to be quantity plus 50. So what are we going to expect here? So we go back to our table. Quantity plus 50 is going to be 50, 50, and then they are setting the price to be 1.23. So I think the price has not been affected. Then where exactly is that going to change? Where the pen is red. So if I just execute this, you realize that it is going to display whatever it has displayed there, that one row has 0 rows affected. And then when I run, maybe I check select, if it has affected that, select from all from products. Then if I check, it must have done that effect there. So we needed to make sure that this part has turned to be 50-50. It has not been able to capture that. So let me try using a different another column. So I can maybe say select, I can use select, I can just say update, I can say update products, set quantity, maybe I can use exactly how it is written so that I don't confuse. Okay, so update products, set quantity equal to, can say quantity minus 100, comma, then the price, can just say the price equal to price plus 0.23. Okay, then you can just say where product ID, so remember it is not case sensitive, so you can type in either capital letter or small letter. So where maybe you can use 1 1002. So I want to update this particular second line, this second line here. I want to update this second line here. Yeah, so if I want to minus here, it should give me 7900, and then I want to add here 0.23, so I expect it to give me 1.48. so that is the output I expect. So if I'm going to run this, so you can see it is saying rows matched 1, changed 1, warning 0. So if I select all from products like that, and then you press enter, you should be able to see that output I've just been able to talk about. So it means my update command is working correctly. Now guys, that is how you can be able to execute a number of database operations. We have talked about creating, we have talked about how to be able to read by using select. We have also talked about update. The last thing I want to show you is how to delete a record. So to delete a record is quite simple. So for instance, I want to delete a row that starts with the word pencil. So to delete a row that starts with the word pencil, basically you just type the word delete and then from products. Okay, then we can just write there where name like then you put those quotation and you just write there pencil, and then the percentage and then the closing quotation, and then you just put your semicolon in front there, and then you just press enter. So you can see 2 rows have been affected. So which rows have been affected? This one and this one. Why? Because they are starting with the word pencil in front here. So if I just say select from products, I should see that effect. So you can see those 2 records have disappeared in that particular table. Okay, so you can as well be able to delete from the product. You can also be able to delete the products from the records from the product, and then you can see that the products will just be the rows will just disappear. So for example, I can just say delete from products. So this implies that I want to delete everything in that table. So if I do that, it says that 3 rows affected. And the last thing, if I want to check if all the rows have disappeared, I just check using select asterisk from products. So it should give me an empty table. So that is how you can be able to perform the CRUD operations in my SQL commands. So we have been able to talk about create, we have talked about read, we have also talked about update, and then we have also talked about delete. So those are the key areas that a web developer should be able to know. Thank you so much for watching. You can practice this on your own, and then you'll be better or efficient in your database design or your database creation. Bye bye for now.